Good evening, good evening. You made it, you made it. It is the last day of April as we march on through spring to summer. All right, good evening, good evening. I just want to make sure you're hearing me. I think so. Tranquility. All right, I'm going to assume so because I think if I wasn't being heard, she would tell me. All right, guys, I'm so glad that you made it in. I hope you're still preserving yourself, protecting yourself, and praying for yourself and all of us because we're hoping and still praying and having faith for a better time. So here we are. It is April 30th, and we have a jam-packed night. We have one of our regulars, but still always a special guest, and that is Attorney Ana Toledo, who will come later on to give us an update of what's happening with the lawsuit and also tell us about a lawsuit that won against a government structure. So we're going to hear all about that a little later. Right now, I'm just going to think for a minute about the things, the impact this program has had upon us, and let's look at some of the things that we lost, and we don't want to spend time looking back, turn into a pillar of salt, but we do want to look back enough so that it encourages us to move forward, and it also shapes how we move forward. So if you think about the things that this program has done, things you've lost, the things they've interfered with, relationships, opportunities, and so forth, and think about where you would be if it weren't for these misses, if it weren't for this interference, this nefarious, intentional, orchestrated interference. Where would you be? And when I think about that, all the grants I would have written would have been seeded, and I would have had the seed for the plays, which I had fantastic actors for. And so I believe I would be in a whole different situation and maybe even receiving an award for one of those theatrical pieces. So somebody needs to mute, please. So yes, if you can think of the things that you miss and the things that they have done to you, the hands we don't see, that's the legal term for they, the hands we don't see have done to you, where would you be? And that is the question. And I'm starting out with the question, and because I'm going to move right into the night so that we do not end up here at midnight. We want to review some lawsuits, and we want to review some laws or some legislation in some of the different states around the nation. All right? So we're going to start. I'm going to open up. I'm going to welcome you to the jam. You can announce yourself, city and state you're from, something that's on your mind, or just where would you be had it not been for this evil program. All right? Welcome to the jam. I'm GoGi's. Welcome to GoGi's After Dinner Jam. If you have noise in your background, please mute it. I hear one squibbly noise. We're going to find you if you don't find yourself. So please mute. Thank you so much. All right, guys, welcome to the jam. Please announce yourself, city and state that you're from, and tell me either something that's on your mind or where would you be if it wasn't for this nefarious program. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Lupita. I'm from New Mexico, and I would be with my granddaughter.
Aw. Hi, Lakeitha. That is so sweet, so precious. Bless you, and I pray that you are able to be with her at some point in the near future.
We will.
All right. Thank you. Right attitude. I love that attitude. Blessing. Okay, now. Okay, next up. Yes. I don't know what, but go ahead. Tell me.
Hi, GoGi. This is Tori in New Jersey. And
Hi, Tori.
Hey, how you doing? I'll simply say this. My life would be totally different. It went down a total different timeline than it should have It wouldn't have been what I chose for myself, but all I know that my Lord Jesus doesn't make any mistakes. He knew this would come upon me before I did, and He has a plan, and He has gone forth to prepare a place for us. So I just wanted to say my life, I know it would look totally different from what it is, but He is my comfort every single day.
Beautiful. Thank you, Tori. So optimistic. I love it. I love it. I love it. And, guys, it's hard to keep that optimism during times like these, but we must do it. We must do it. Keep doing it. Keep pressing. Keep raising up. Keep getting stronger. Keep preserving yourself, protecting yourself. It is evil, and we don't deserve it. Nothing we did deserves what we're going through, but we're going to make it through one step at a time. Go ahead, please.
One more thing, Gaji. I just want to say this, and that it's a great time to really get immersed in Bible prophecy and keep looking and keep watching like a watchman, because this program is distracting, it's painful, it hurts us, but don't let it distract you from spiritually what is actually happening here. Look at the control that this government is trying to grab over all citizens, and you need to start putting two and two together if you haven't already.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Tori. Thank you for that. Yes, control over citizens. They want control of our brain, control of our bodies, control of our minds, control of our relationships, control over our money, just control over our privacy. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. Go ahead. Next person, please.
Yes, hi. This is Joey in Houston. And
hi, Jerry.
Joey, yeah.
Joey, yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
Joey.
Where I would be. This is where I would be if it weren't for this program. Ever since I was a child, I wanted to get into law, and I did, and I wanted to be a district attorney or an ADA or work for the United States Attorney's Office. I come from hardcore military. So you know what? When I was in law school, I was accepted into the United States Attorney's student, the student intern for the summer. And just as soon as I got in, they turned me down, and you know why? That's because they're in there. They're taking our jobs. The civil rights violators are obviously in the Department of Justice doing malicious prosecutions. So that's where I'd be. I'd be a real government lawyer. Instead, we have these frauds and these people who just are so inexplicably incompetent and vicious. Civil rights deprived. That's where I would be.
Absolutely. Thank you, Joey. Thank you for that. What a real answer. I believe you would be, because you were already accepted. And you're right. What they did was, while we were sleeping, while churches were praying for one another and not looking, and while we were sleeping, whoever, somebody dropped the ball, because they put themselves in these positions, and they're elected. We elect these people. I'm not sure why it is an echo. But we elect these people, and they're in these positions, like Joey said, making sure that they get in and the righteous stay out. The people that would stand up, they keep them out. And that's why so many times we look at our lawsuit and why it's prevailing but not further along, because of corruption. Okay? And thank you, because people haven't been sending me that you need my evidence anymore. Thank you so much for not doing that, because that's not what's needed. We need people to stand up like the song says. We need them to say what they want to say. Be brave. We need people to be brave. All right. Thank you. Next caller. Next person.
My name is Jeff Jones, and I live in Pepper, Texas. And
Hi, Jeff.
When it first started, my kids were 1 year old and 2 years old, and now they're 14 and 16. Pretty violent. I had to ask for help for my custody, because it was so violent. And then I found the people that helped me, with my kids are against us. And they hurt my little son not too long ago, a few months ago, through an energy weapon. And I haven't seen him since. So, I go through it nonstop, and my kids go through it. And, the D2K they threaten our lives, and they tell me if I try to talk to my daughter that they're gonna, hurt her also. So pretty rough with it. But if I wasn't ever had surgery or nothing, or in my car accident, then I'd still be a single dad or a dad living with my kids, and I had to own the house and my vehicle. So this program screwed our lives all the way to the other side and back, and still going.
Yes. Oh my God. It's just horrible what they do and how deep they go, and they don't care who they attack. The kids, the marriages, all the sacred relationships. And I'm so sorry you went through that. And if you could, if it weren't for this program, you would be with your children and safe. That's your point, Jeff.
Amen.
Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing. All right, go ahead.
Hi, this is Jennifer from Georgia.
Hi, Jennifer.
And I feel the exact same way. I'd be a mother. I'm sorry for what he's going through. I'll be praying for him and his children. My children, I have been estranged from, and they've been turned against me. It's called alienated. I haven't talked to them or seen them or know where they are, really, in probably 6 years now.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Jennifer. I thank you for continuing to. I'm sorry, ma'am. Do you need to mute? I think so.
To make her kill herself.
Jennifer, I thank you for sharing, and I believe that thank you for continuing to come to the J.A.M. So that means you're pressing past your pain. And guys, my prayer is that it's shorter than we could ever imagine, that this turnaround is going to be quicker than we imagined. So we're pushing through this year, and we're believing that something great is happening. We're still seeing our stories across the nation. We're still seeing them talk about us without talking about us. Of course, we need something really big to happen. We need a miracle, and that's what we're praying and believing for. So just keep pushing. And Jennifer and Jeff, I'm so sorry for what you've gone through and what you're experiencing, but hold on, hang in there, preserve yourself and protect yourself. Pray if you pray, and get ready for things to turn around. Okay, next caller, please. Go ahead.
My name's Gaji. Go ahead.
I hear two people. Okay.
Hi, Gaji.
The person
who's Williams from Indianapolis.
Hi, Pat. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. I was a broker prior to this, and I think that I would really, really be on top right about now. And the reason being is because I haven't worked since 2020, but I'm still getting, things that are asking me to come and work for them as far as banks are concerned. But I used to say, why me? I don't say that anymore. I say, why not me? And I tell them all the time, because I know they read my mind. I can't tell you everything that I say to them, but I tell them I am stronger than you. I am going to be victorious, and I'm coming out on top. That's all right.
All right. Thank you. Man, to go down to not be able to do the work that you do as a banker or a broker, and to have that attitude is very encouraging. Thank you so much for that, Major P. Love it. All right. You will be victorious. I believe it. I agree with you. All right. Next caller, please. Somebody else was talking while she was talking. You please go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Christine, and I was first targeted out of Galveston, Texas, by an ex, but now I live in Zavala, Texas. And so what I did is I tried everything to make these people stop. So I was getting in a bunch of trouble and went to prison. And then I just decided to turn my whole life around. So actually I have more than I've had before this started now. So I'm in the process right now of writing a book. It's called Target Justice. And all I can say is turn your pain into power and keep trying to push until we can get this stopped.
Woo, I love it. I heard most of what you said. but I definitely heard turn your pain into power and keep it pushing so we can get this stopped. You remind me of Betty Doo. Thank you, Ms. Galveston. Thank you, and thank you so much for sharing that. And that's very encouraging words. Turn your pain into power, people. Let's do it. All right. Go ahead. Next caller.
Okay. My name is Mike. I'm in the Northeast region. And
Hi, Mike.
how you doing? And I was studying to become a medical doctor, and that all failed, stopped, blocked. But now I'm changing something to something else because I really wanted to help people and save people's lives, and I actually did prior to this. And I'm still being tortured and sleep deprived and can't do anything, blocked, stopped on everything. So, but I'm not going to let that. I'm going to just continue to keep going as best as I can, along with my support animal, my cat, and I'm going to do the best I can with what I got. You know, and keep going, people. Don't stop. You know. Don't let this take you down, man. You just keep going, day by day. If it has to be hour by hour, it has to be. You just keep going. That's all I want to say. You know, this is a horrible program, whatever this is. Just that's it. That's all I'm going to say. I want other people to speak.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that, Mike. Yes, it is a horrible program, and I mean, I don't. It's you know, it's just absolutely nefarious, as they said, the most evil thing that we can face. We're facing day by day, which I just, my hat's off to everyone that is pushing past their pain to make it here and to be here and to share and to stay positive. Go ahead, please.
Good evening. I'm a doctor from California. I just joined the community about 7 months ago. It's nice to meet everybody. I became a targeted individual about 7 months ago, and I didn't really know what was going on until very recently. And it's been a very, very traumatic experience, and I'm glad to find groups like this that we can talk to one another and learn and grow together and stay strong together.
Thank you so much, doctor from California. What kind of doctor are you, by the way?
I'm a doctor of dental surgery. I work with underserved children at the time. Unfortunately, I have not been able to practice since this started with me. I was in the process of starting a nonprofit organization for underserved children in communities around the world, and this happened. So I'm trying to figure out why. Excuse me. And I had an interaction with a specific website that I had made in November at the same exact time, and this website ended up breaking into my laptop and my cell phone devices, and that's how everything started for me. So I do believe that I might have an idea of who's doing this to me, and I'm hoping to get to the bottom of it in order to understand why and how.
Right. I understand, and that's many people's, some people know exactly who put them on the list. Some people think they know, and it's not really that person or and so forth. And sometimes we think it's at one point, and then we look back and it started longer. It's, you know, but it's so many reasons that we can be nominated to this evil TSDB because the field offices accept the nominations because they're going to get bonus money for it. So they don't deny anybody, that's for sure, because it pads their pockets. So they just take people in, and somebody could put you on a list arbitrarily, unfortunately. And this list is supposed to be real domestic terrorists, and 97% of it is us. So I hope that sheds some light. But as you keep coming to the J.A.M. and keep looking around, you'll start finding out more and more information about the program. Our thing is, let's tear it down. Let's expose it and let's tear it down. It needs to stop. You know, democracy is not democracy. Our country is not, we're not free until it's gone. All right? But thank you and welcome to the J.A.M. I hope to hear you again every Tuesday. All right, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome. All right. Please announce yourself, city and state you're from, something that's on your mind. Tell us where you would be without this evil program.
Hi, GoGi. It's Deborah from New Jersey.
Hi, Deborah.
Hi, GoGi. So I could go in a lot of different directions here because I have some family members that this has affected too. But I'm going to say tonight, I'm going to take Tori's lead and your lead here, and I'm going to say if it wasn't for this program, I wouldn't be in a position to help write legislation so others won't have to suffer. So to get this program to stop and to affect change so that others won't have to suffer in the future, to expose this and to get it to stop. So I'm excited about that prospect.
I'm so excited that you're doing that, Deborah. And anything I can do to help you and your husband, please let me know. I think it's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And what we're doing tonight is going to, I hope it helps you as well.
Thank you,
okay?
GoGi.
All right, okay. All right, welcome to the J.A.M, everybody. We'll take one or two more, and then we're going to move into the next. Hi, how are you?
Hi, this is Cece in Sacramento, California.
Hi, Cece.
Hi. Where would I be if I wasn't in this program? I probably wouldn't be living in this country. I'd probably be in Austria. I'm a classical flute player. And I had an opportunity, GoGi, to be an au pair volunteer in Austria because of activists I grew to know in We Are Change. And We Are Change has changed, but they're not a good group anymore, but I learned a lot. And, I wouldn't be in this country. I'd be gone. I'm a traveler. So I wouldn't be home. I wouldn't be home every day. This is not me. I'm a missionary for Christ, and so I wouldn't be home. But bless you for having your call. Thank you for your organization.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I pray that one day, Cece, you are able to travel, play your flute, and spread the word as you would love to do. That's beautiful. Thank you.
You know what, GoGi? You know what? I have been able to play my flute lately. So God has been good in spite of these people. And thank you for letting me speak. Thank you.
All right. My pleasure.
All right.
All right. One or two more, and we're moving on. Anybody else?
Hey, GoGi. It's Olivia from Washington. How are you?
Hi. I'm okay. Hi, Olivia.
Hi. So I know, kind of like everyone else, I'm not quite fully sure where I would be, but I'm pretty sure it would be close to having my own homestead with animals and being fully self-sufficient with like-minded people. But if this is the price that we have to pay for having integrity, I would rather be on this side than the path that I would have been going down, which would have been corruption and evil.
Wow, that's deep, Olivia. Thank you for that. Thank you. Oh, that's very deep. Yeah, if there's two sides, guys, one is the side of integrity versus the side of corruption. Yeah, I'd rather be walk with integrity any day. So thank you so much for that, Olivia. Beautifully said. All right, guys. All right, so we're going to wind down and start moving into the next portion. Okay, let's close it down. All right. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Oh, my God, you're bringing tears to my eyes. I mean, all the lost dreams and aspiration and in years past and, opportunities that were there, and you're eligible and you have the credentials and you're passed over. I mean, it's just awful. I mean, they owe each of us so much, and let's make them pay for it. Let's make sure that they do. This is, it should not be happening, guys. So. All right, so let's get into some of the news. I have really just two articles, and then we're going to we're going to hear from our attorneys, our guests, and then we're going to go into some of the legislation around the nation. All right, so I have two articles, but they're very good articles, so let's listen up 1 second. Okay. Give me a minute to pull them up. Here we go. All right, so let me see which one I want to do first. Okay. We're going to start with, this one is about, the title is Newly Filed Report with Federal Court Seeks Havana Syndrome Transparency. And this was April 20, oh God, I can't see the date. April 25th, I think, 2024, but it's very, very recent. April 26th. So on April 26, 2024, the Director of National Intelligence filed a request in federal court seeking a two business day explanation of time until April 30th, that's today, in a request to make public records that will likely shed light on some of mystery behind Havana Syndrome. According to court documents obtained by the Wisconsin Law Journal on Monday. I mean, that Wisconsin Law Journal, somebody there is a target. They are really working for us, I'm telling you. Okay, so it says Brian J. Karim, a journalist, through his attorney, Mark Zaid, is requesting the court order the federal government to disclose non-exempt sections of I had to go to the next page, of 365 pages about Havana Syndrome within the next month, according to a joint status report filed in federal court earlier this month. Through the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, the James Madison Project is seeking the records from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence on behalf of Karim. The lawsuit continues ongoing efforts to bring about transparency surrounding the U.S. government's knowledge of anomalous health incident, AHI, impacting federal employees and their family members, Zaid argued in court documents. Zaid, an attorney representing those impacted by Havana Syndrome, including employees of the CIA, FBI, and State Department, is also representing the James Madison Project. The project's goal is to reduce government secrecy and improve transparency. The James Madison Project is a nonpartisan organization established in 1998 to promote government accountability and the reduction of secrecy, as well as educating the public on issues relating to intelligence and national security, according to court documents. The requested documents include a whistleblower complaint and the accompanying exhibits that can be found cataloged within the Office of the Inspector General. The original lawsuit was filed in November of 2023 and alleges a widespread and ongoing cover-up among several federal agencies, including the CIA. The whistleblower complaint and accompanying exhibits demonstrate an ongoing cover-up by various agencies, most notably the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency. The public has a vested interest in exposing the failures of the intelligence community, particularly with respect to deliberately withholding relevant information and protecting its personnel and their family members from harm caused by one, I'm not sure what words it says, Zaid wrote in, caused by one or more adversaries, Zaid wrote in the report. The American public deserves to have a straight answer from the U.S. government regarding AHIs and the impact that has been and is continuing to be felt by U.S. government personnel, both overseas and domestically, Zaid added. So they continue to talk about that is, as as if it's well, Zaid only represents diplomats, but this James Madison project is wants to expose everything. Okay, the April 2024 report cites a recent 60-minute episode which featured targeted Americans. On March 31, 2024, the renowned news program 60 Minutes aired a rare 2-segment episode on targeted Americans, specifically pertaining to new evidence obtained regarding AHIs. Okay. So, all right, let's skip around a little bit. They talk about the program, which most people watch. The document subject to the FOIA lawsuit, which again has been granted expedited processing and must be released as soon as practicably. The report states, on April 12, 2024, U.S. Senators Jean Shaheen from New Hampshire, a senior member of the U.S. Foreign Relations and Armed Services Committees, and Susan Collins from Maine, a senior member of the U.S. Senate Intelligence Committee, led a bipartisan group of senators in sending a letter to President Joe Biden, urging the administration to review efforts to investigate the root cause behind anomalous health incidents known as Havana Syndrome. In light of the allegations raised in the CBS 60 Minutes television segment, the letter also calls for timely compensation for impacted individuals and requests an interagency briefing from administration officials to understand their current efforts to identify attribution behind these attacks. Joining Shaheen and Collins on the letter are U.S. Senators Kristen Gillibrand, Mark Rubio, Mark Warner, Roger Wicker, James Reach, and Ben Collins. This is from Maryland, Mississippi, Idaho, Virginia, Florida, New York. All right. Okay, we need to be writing thank you letters or talking to these people and saying they're on the right track. Okay, because when it gets to the bottom of the Havana Syndrome, what is it going to point at? Guys, it's going to point at the microwave weapons that they use on our bodies. So remember, we say that 6 months of those attacks leads to Havana Syndrome, and most of us have it. All right, so let's skip around a little bit. Okay, because it's long. But they get into non-lethal acoustic weapons, which they talked about during 60 Minutes, and they talk about, what else? I'm reading they're talking about the particular things that happen. Like one person said, I had blood loss to my cranial nerve. I am basically deaf in my right ear. My balance has come back to a certain extent, but it's still impaired, Johnson said, noting he wasn't given a definitive Havana Syndrome diagnosis, but that was what it was being evaluated. Okay. Zaid said, I wish there were more attorneys involved. One of my CIA clients is originally from Wisconsin, noting that he's a small D.C. firm that specializes in national security. Okay. All right. And then the question, is this a U.S. government cover-up? All right, which I found interesting. Let's see. Zaid says, I would dare say there is a cover-up, Zaid said, noting there are several theories why the U.S. government has downplayed it and made victims of the syndrome think there is something off with them psychologically. Have we heard that before? It's fantastical. Maybe you should get checked mentally, when in reality there is a serious brain injury. Okay. All right. So they talk about the history of the Havana Syndrome, and then this question, why are U.S. citizens being targeted? Okay, let's look at this for a minute, and then I'll move on to the next. I'll move on to the next area. Zaid noted a theory floating around that the U.S. intelligence community first used similar microwave technology in surveillance operations. First victims of this were from those who were conducting these operations and then were exposed to the radiation. Officially, we do not publicly know who the first victims were or are. I have no knowledge that the first victims were exposed by these alleged U.S. operations, okay? The Wisconsin Law Journal reached out to Northrop Grumman. Previously, officials for the company said they would issue a statement, but they did not. Okay, Northrop Grumman. Okay, let's go on to who and where responsibility and targets. I'm going to skip around a little bit because they spend time blaming the adversary when at one point they say they cannot blame the adversary. So they're going back and forth with this. How does one get zapped? Let's read that, and then and one other part, and then we're going to leave it. Also, as previously reported by the Wisconsin Law Journal, a small portable microwave-based energy weapon is deployed by the foreign agent. The way the technology works is the sudden and possibly uneven pressure change in the brain causes a propagating stress wave in the brain. The mechanical wave shakes structures in the air, causing the perception of sound. It is hypothesized that the same effect at much higher power density levels could cause pressure waves similar to those experienced during traumatic brain injury. Okay, so we have a different theory in terms of where this comes from, which is the cell towers. So, and they're talking about foreign adversaries or foreign agents deploying these things. All right. So, at this time there's a lot of disinformation, and the truth is mixed in there, so we have to just hold to the truth, hold to what we know, and continue pressing on because they are going to find out. They're asking for this information to be exposed by today. And if you remember, other people have asked for information to be exposed, like the group that walked in for the TSDB to be exposed by January 9th. They had a closed meeting. We're still waiting for that information. And so I'm hopefully that they're asking for all these pages, I think that they say 365 pages, to be exposed, that they are exposed and not kept classified. So according to Zaid, to date, there are only a few members of Congress who have advocated for targeted U.S. citizens who are victims of Havana Syndrome. Among those elected officials who have taken an interest in pursuing justice is Senator Ron Johnson, Zaid said, who noted he, along with Republican Senator Marco Rubio and Democrat U.S. Senator Jeanne Shaheen, have been meeting with constituents and members of the intelligence community to investigate and hold those accountable. Beautiful. We need to write them. Senator Marco Rubio, Senator Jeanne Shaheen, and Ron Johnson. Okay, those are 3 that we need to write. Let's make a note of that. Let's try to write them since they're holding meetings. Johnson says Shaheen was his ranking member when he was on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and Rubio is co-chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee. So Johnson again expressed his frustration over getting answers about Havana Syndrome regarding his health, the health of his constituents, and other Americans. They're talking about regular citizens who may have fallen victim to Havana Syndrome. Getting information out of the federal government is like pulling teeth. They simply do not provide it, Johnson said. Johnson said that Havana Syndrome is only one example of a government cover-up, citing other examples such as a lab leak being one of the most likely ways that the coronavirus spread. My guess is this has happened time and time again with the federal government being involved and things not working out too well, them using all of the power of the federal government to cover it up, and they have awesome powers to covering up things. Okay? So my guess is this is what, okay, last paragraph, the Wisconsin Law Journal reached out to officials at the State Department and the NIH. The NIH deferred questions to the State Department. A comment was not immediately available from the State Department prior to publication. Whew. All right, that's a mouthful. So, as you know, I don't want to say this, so I won't say it. Okay, but that Ron Johnson is targeted and has symptoms of Havana Syndrome, or has the Havana Syndrome. He is really pushing. And Gene Shaheen has been an advocate forever. So the 3 of them are really pushing out there. And we need to provide them some support and some information. If there's anything they don't understand, we can certainly give that to them. All right. So let's pray that they make headway. And the James Madison Project. All right, Harvard Law School Forum. We're going to take a commercial break so I can drink some water. And we can move into the next article, and then we're going to hear from our special guest. All right, commercial break, please.
Are you feeling like something strange is happening in your life? You tell others, but nobody believes you? Well, get ready to uncover the truth with GoGi Justice's groundbreaking book, GoGi's 10 Signs Which Indicate You're a Targeted Individual. GoGi Justice, an everyday person just like you, has written a book that exposes the covert illegal activities happening right under our noses. With a writing style that's raw, honest, and relatable, GoGi takes you on a journey through the dark world of targeted individuals. You'll ask yourself if you are experiencing these signs. Learn about infiltration, gang stalking, privacy violations, and even hacked home appliances. GoGi's book is a beacon of hope, providing encouragement, tips, and resources for those who find themselves trapped in this nightmare. It's time to fight back and regain control of your life. So if you're tired of feeling isolated, unheard, and targeted, grab a copy of GoGi's 10 Signs Which Indicate You're a Targeted Individual. Available now on Amazon.com and the Targeted Justice Etsy shop. Don't let them silence you any longer. Take the first step towards understanding, empowerment, and freedom. Get your copy today and join the movement. GoGi Justice's book, A Voice for the Targeted Individuals.
All right. Okay, yes, please get the book. Share the book. It has tips and more than that, it has information that if you really read it and think about it, you can pinpoint when you first became targeted. All right? So, all right, let's look at this now. This is from Harvard Law School Forum on Corporate Governance. And it's called DOJ Announces New Whistleblower Program and Enforcement Initiatives. So this was April 3rd, earlier this month. And this is from the Department of Justice. Now, that this might be a scary thing. I'm not sure. It might be something in our favor. Who knows? But they are asking for whistleblowers within the Department of Justice to come forward, and they're going to reward them if there's any kind of corruption that they reveal. So, you know, it's like I say, it's a little spooky, but let's see what it's talking about. Let's see if it's going to be helpful to us. Okay. Here. In short, on March 7th, 2027, Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco discussed updates on the Department of Justice's corporate criminal enforcement policies and announced a pilot program that will financially reward whistleblowers unveiling major corporate misconduct. Now, we know how the whistleblowers were treated before, Steve Friend, and I can't remember the other guy's name, but they were both, and no disrespect, I've seen Steve Friend's interviews quite often, but they were both, fired. They lost their jobs, and they're struggling and doing the best they can. But this program, or this pilot program, claims they will give money as the whistleblowers unveil major corporate misconduct. So the policies and priorities discussed reaffirm DOJ's carrot and stick approach to encouraging companies to self-disclose criminal misconduct and cooperate with the department's efforts to prosecute individual wrongdoers. The new Whistleblower Reward Program, which is expected to take shape over the next 90 days, provides stronger incentives for tipsters to disclose corporate and financial misconduct. Further, DOJ has adopted an aggressive stance towards seeking enhanced penalties for corporate misuse of new and disruptive technologies like artificial intelligence, AI. DOJ continues to emphasize aggressive enforcement of white-collar crimes against entities and individuals and remains committed to incentivizing voluntary self-disclosure by corporations. And increasingly, the department is incentivizing individuals to expose wrongdoings by providing non-culpable whistleblowers with financial incentives through the impending DOJ Whistleblower Program. Given the special scrutiny the department will apply to the use of technologies like AI, companies should consider updating their compliance programs to mitigate risks related to the misuse of AI. Okay, so they're trying to do something, and then it goes into details. So if you want to check the Harvard article, then that would be great. There's one other thing. Okay, they have 3 takeaways. We're going to read the 3 key takeaways, and then I want to tell you about a form, and then we're going to get ready for our special guest. Okay, the 3 takeaways. DAG, that's the District Attorney General, something like that. Monaco's remarks reinforce DOJ's commitment to aggressively pursuing white-collar crime, including through the use of voluntary self-disclosure policies. DOJ's impending whistleblower reward program will ramp up incentives for individuals to disclose potential corporate misconduct and will cover a broader range of conduct than the currently existing patchwork of whistleblower programs. Number 3, given DOJ's firm stance on corporate misuse of AI, companies should review their compliance programs to ensure that they adequately assess, monitor for, and remediate AI-related risks. So they're giving them a chance to clean their acts up because they're going to start exposing things. Now, so this is interesting that it comes out in April, and they're giving it out to their employees. So let's see what happens. Let's expect some whistleblowers from Department of Justice. And in addition, there's a form which I'll have available to you shortly. It's a form for just the public to fill out to make a complaint with Department of Justice if you want to complain about some corruption that you know is going on, like the Targeted Individual Program, and which Department of Justice oversees because they oversee the FBI, I'm told. All right, so that is all the news I have today. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and the next next thing you'll hear is I will be introducing you to our very own Attorney Ana Toledo. So let's get ready. Get the pens and pads ready, guys. All right. So commercial break.
Welcome to TIEvents.org, your official insider for the targeted individual community. As the go-to source for all TI events, we're here to keep you in the loop with the latest and greatest happenings. Discover daily conference calls, meetups, and exclusive events across the USA, all at your fingertips. Plus, planning a TI event? Advertise with us for free and connect directly with the TI community. TIEvents.org is not just a website. It's your gateway to a world of information, connection, and empowerment for TIs everywhere. TIEvents.org, your official insider. Dive in and discover today.
All right. Don't forget to check out TIEvents.org so that you will be apprised of all the different conference calls. And boy, are there many. Once again, I say thank you for choosing the J.A.M. I choose you back, and I hope to see you back every Tuesday. All right. Now, this lawsuit that I'm mentioning, I just want to read this write-up of the lawsuit is one of the best that I've seen, and it's so beautifully written. It says, lawsuit alleges torture, involuntary human experimentation, and violation and deprivation of rights. January 11, 2023, Texas nonprofit group Targeted Justice, Inc. and members file a lawsuit against the FBI, DHS, and high-ranking officials in both entities in Texas Southern District Court. Interest-driven media has obtained a copy of the lawsuit from Targeted Justice. The suit includes, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, writ of mandamus, a complaint for declaratory and injunctive relief, and damages. And then they go and break it down. The way they break the lawsuit down is absolutely wonderful. So it would be hard for me to, if I can get a link, I can have it available to you because it is so, so beautifully written. And they really did an excellent job breaking down the lawsuit. And that means that our attorney did an excellent job pulling it together. So it was a flawless piece. And there have been many moves since then. And we want to talk about that tonight, where we are with it. And so I'm going to introduce to you once again, introduce to some and reintroduce to others, our very own Attorney Ana Toledo. Ana, are you there?
Hi, Gogi. Hi, Gogi. I'm here.
Hi.
I'm here.
Okay.
I wanted to say where I would be. I would also be with my son, but I am very blessed because I'm here. I am at Jazz in Orlando, and she's building me a canopy to protect myself. So I feel so absolutely blessed that within everything that goes on, well, I'm very, very privileged that I'm getting to test this, and if it works, it's going to be good for a lot of TIs to do it. So
I'm waiting for my picture.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, he's finishing it now, and when it's done, then he's going to measure the EMFs and stuff with his radar, whatever you call it, the detectors. And also, one of the good things is yesterday he took a picture of me with an infrared camera, and the only part that was hot was the part that was not covered with chicken wire. So it's promising, and so when we get the results, we'll share them for those that want to protect themselves this way. And so I will talk to you all. You know, many cases are coming down in the Fifth Circuit. I'm going to give the update, but that seem to be like they want to support many of our positions, yet I filed a petition for rehearing en banc because we had the adverse decision of the panel, which was unpublished, and when it is unpublished, it means that it doesn't create any precedent. And it was also per curiam, which means that no judge, that they didn't want to say, I wrote this, okay, the 3 judges of the panel, they didn't want to say it was me who wrote it. Now, yesterday I filed a motion. For those of you that haven't seen the Targeted Justice Substack newsletter, I really urge you to read it because it will put you in perspective that it is not about not doing the work. It is not about, not doing excellent work and alleging what we have to allege, but rather is that targeted justice has been denied fairness since the very beginning in the U.S. District Court. Many of you can remember we filed a case in Victoria, and without anybody asking for it, the court moved it to Houston. That is completely inappropriate because right now we also got a decision from the Dallas Northern District Court of Texas where the Fifth Circuit says the court has to respect the choice of venue of the plaintiff. It is not up to the court to decide what the venue is. No. And so when we look at the incidents that have occurred, for example, having 3 months that the judge did not grant us our limited discovery on the TSDB status of the 18 plaintiffs, that alone it says a lot. So I filed a motion yesterday saying, fine, you denied our en banc petition, but we want to see who voted how, because what's at stake here is that the decision of this court, of this panel, has the effect of not allowing plaintiffs to have their day in court one day, and it's basic violation of basic fairness and basic due process rights. So we're waiting on that, and it's not like, I don't know what's going to happen, but at least, the truth is out there. Other attorneys would be very scared to file something like what I filed, but I am not, because the truth is almighty, right? And you should never act out of fear, because then things don't turn out right. But what I wanted to talk to you about is there is another case that came from the Fifth Circuit, and even though this is not the other courts, like for example the First Circuit, which is the Massachusetts one, don't recognize it. The Fifth Circuit did recognize this. And I think it's very pertinent because this plaintiff, she didn't realize she's targeted. I'm absolutely certain she is. And she thought it was because of racism that the postmen, the 2 postal servicemen, did not deliver her mail. So she sued the postal service and the 2 postal workers that deliver mail, because she has 2 properties. And they did all sorts of shenanigans on her, and she filed the appropriate complaints with the Postmaster General. She submitted them as exhibits to the complaint. And the court held, the Fifth Circuit held, that they were not going to hold the U.S. Postal, this is under the Federal Tort Claims Act. They were not going to hold the U.S. Postal Service liable. Okay, they affirmed the dismissal because district courts, most of the things they do is dismiss cases for either lack of jurisdiction or failure to state a claim. So the circuit said, okay, it's okay to dismiss as it pertains to the Postal Service. However, the intentional conduct of those 2 postmen is not protected by immunity, and the court returned the case to the district court for the district court to continue the proceedings against those 2 postal workers. And why is this important? Because many targeted individuals don't get their mail, and we all know this, right? And the purpose is for you to get late fees in your credit card statements, to get your utilities disconnected or to get all of a sudden a $700 bill because you didn't get a bill for 7 months, and so then you can't pay it and then you can get it disconnected. And so that's the court said the postal workers' actions were intentional and thus cannot constitute a, and quote, air quotes here, negligent transmission, which would have left, allowed them to be off the hook, okay? And they recognize this raises an issue of first impression in the Fifth Circuit, and other circuits like the First haven't recognized this cause of action. So the U.S. Postal Service employees had no reason to withhold her mail, and this is what the court held. Where the U.S. Postal Service employees intentionally fails or refuses to deliver mail to designated addresses, the mail is not miscarried, and thus there is a cause of action. Here, Rojas and Drake, the two postal workers, intentionally did not deliver the mail to the plaintiff and her tenants. And so the court heard that sovereign immunity does not bar the lawsuit under the Federal Tort Claims Act against those two criminals. And I call them criminals because you know that every single federal worker or private person that colludes with this criminal program by association becomes a criminal. And 1% of the Fusion Center workers also work for the U.S. Postal Service. That's how they sabotage our mail, and they do, atrocious things. So the conflicting circuits are the First, the Second, and the Eighth. The other ones haven't, but the D.C. Circuit agrees with the Fifth Circuit that the intentional non-distribution of the mail is actionable under the Tort Claims Act. It'll probably, the conflict of the circuits will probably end up in the Supreme Court, but I don't fathom a Supreme Court saying that the intentional withholding of mail by two postal workers is not actionable. I don't, it's just so outrageous what these two they're abusers. They were total quintessential perps, these two. So if this is happening to you, under federal law, because the postal workers are federal law, you have to make sure you know the names of your postal workers, and you do the appropriate complaint with the U.S. Postmaster General, and keep all your documents, and keep a tab, keep a record of all the bank statements, of all the utility bills you don't get. And I will be drafting some sort of, because I am recommending somebody that I know for a fact has this problem to be filing this lawsuit. It's like GoGi says, we have to throw everything to see what sticks. As you know, I also have a lawsuit, a FOIA lawsuit asking for the records. That one is pending. We have an initial scheduling conference on the 13th of June, and in that one I asked for under FOIA for the records that have been removed by reason of death from handling codes 3 and 4. And I made a FOIA request. I made the appeal. They denied everything, and now they're trying to make up a federal a rule of civil procedure exempting them from having to produce, because I already served the discovery on them. And so they think they're, above the law and they don't have to answer it. So that's where we're going to be working on for, this next month. And so, I just want you to know that many of you already know it, but for those of you that don't, we're not going to stop until we shut down this program, and we really appreciate your support, because it is with your support that is driving crazy the criminals. They can't stand it. They can't stand that we have attained unity. And despite, the lost sheep along the way, there is still a core group that is supporting our effort, and that's what matters. My mom used to say, those that left don't matter. The ones that matter are the ones that stayed in the party. So I thank you, I honor you, and thank you for staying strong. If you have any questions, I can give you the name of the case. You can look it up. It reads, the woman, the plaintiff, she doesn't realize she's a targeted individual. And she attributed the two postal workers' intentional conduct to racism. But her name is Konan. And the name of the case is Konan versus versus Raymond Rojas and Jason Drake, and the postal service. But the postal service has been taken out of the lawsuit. And I think that this is a great opportunity for many of you that are within the Fifth Circuit or the D.C. Circuit, because the courts have recognized that we have to start bringing down the criminals that carry out intentional conduct to sabotage our lives. Being passive doesn't cut it. That is it's just not an alternative anymore. So thank you also for the activism. Right to Johnson and to Rubio. We have strong reasons to believe that Marco Rubio is also a targeted individual. So be kind and be persistent, please. We need that. Thank you, GoGi, for having me.
Thank you so much. That was so informative. 2 questions before we. I'm going to go into the laws, and then we're going to open up Q&A. The name of the lawsuit again is Konan. Is it Konan? Did you say?
Konan. Konan versus Raymond Rojas, Rojas, and Jason Drake, Drake, and the U.S. Postal Service. And it's a Fifth Circuit decision. I already downloaded her lawsuit. I'm going to take some of the stuff from it and make a draft for those of you. Here's what matters. If you find an attorney that litigates in federal court and this is happening to you, you can take this case, you can do your due diligence, as I mentioned, of doing your complaints, and you can tell the attorney, look, the Fifth Circuit just solved in favor of this, and there's attorney's fees. You're not going to work for free. You can get attorney's fees, and that's, federal attorneys, that's a lot, most of them depend on that, civil rights and people that litigate in environmental statutes, they depend on the attorney's fees. So it's a case that if you find a good federal attorney, it would be very attractive for them to file it. And that's why I think it's a very good tool for those of you that are genuinely being sabotaged by these criminals. Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm going to ask a question, and then I'll open up after I talk about the laws. I wanted to know what is this? I'm sorry. If they can file pro se, or do they have to have a federal attorney?
Well,
federal issue?
No, they can, but in my experience, this Department of Justice attorneys, they have many tricks in their bag. And, yes, you can file pro se. If you file pro se, I urge you to not do it in forma pauperis, like asking for a fee waiver, because when you do that, they send it to a magistrate to see if it's like frivolous or not, and I have yet to read a single case. I have not seen one where the magistrate comes back and says, yeah, it's viable, it's a good case. You know what I mean? So if you do file a pro se, maybe GoGi down the line, we have many plans looking forward, especially I have, for example, now to go to the Supreme Court, and I have to seek admission to the Supreme Court, and that's I have 3 months to file, and one of the things that I want to do, if people in this call can help us do the approach, a campaign to institutes like, for example, the one that you mentioned before, the James Madison Project, so that they can file a friend of the court. We have to knock on the doors of these organizations so that they support us in the Supreme Court. And so I'm going to be working on that, plus a personal matter of mine that I need to solve. So I cannot promise that, within the next month, and plus we're going to be planning an activity. So I don't fathom that in the next 3 months I can work on this, but you can start building your record and your journaling to file your lawsuit against the post office workers that don't deliver your mail. Like your bank statement, just make an inventory of how many bank statements you're not getting, what electricity, gas bill, water bill, and start making a little spreadsheet of it. And that's going to be beautiful. And maybe we can pull some people to, file it together. And it'll be great. Or, I don't know, we could maybe give the resources of like a sample complaint. I cannot do it right now because I'm very busy, as you know, with these other 2 cases, but it's something that we can do down the line. And besides, you need to prepare for it. You need to file your complaint with a Postmaster General. You need to get their reply. You need to document and journal all the mail you don't get. So that, because this woman, it was for 2 years. I'm not saying it has to be for that long, but at least because you need to have your facts very accurate and straight in order to so that they can't go anywhere. So you can corner them and prove that they have incurred an intentional malfeasance.
I love it. Absolutely. So if you've been journaling and keeping good documents and making complaints, I call it pushing back. If you push back and you've been doing it, you're ready. But if you need to catch up, you need to, backtrack and write everything up, then take your time and do that. But I think it would be worthwhile. And we're going to follow her case, Konan. So we're going to follow her case.
Yeah.
Konan, beautiful.
The good thing is the Fifth Circuit already said this is an actionable claim under the Federal Tort Claims Act. So no district court can say otherwise because the Court of Appeals already said it's actionable. So the attorneys of the Department of Justice cannot come say, no, it's not actionable because there is a precedent saying it is.
Beautiful. I love it. And this way, we're waiting for the whole lawsuit to prevail. But in the meantime, we could take little nibbles off the elephant, and we just nibble away at what they're doing. Like, I don't know about anybody else, but they play with the sanitation, with the garbage. They should be picking up the garbage regularly. Wherever, sometimes they like to make sure wherever you are, they don't pick up the garbage for days, which is just utterly ridiculous. So, okay, but this is one, and this is the post office, but there are others. So let's keep all of the little shenanigans and games that are played in mind, and if we continue to journal properly, then when it comes up, we can take action. All right, and one other thing you said, Attorney Ana, you said your mom said, it doesn't matter who left, it matters who's still here. In Espanol, can you tell us?
Sí, el que importa no es el que se fue, es el que se quedó.
All right.
Yeah, el que importa no es el que se fue, es el que se quedó. Yeah, and my mom used to say that all the time because, and especially for us targeted. I mean, I think my parents were targeted, but in another generation, right? And and I think that many people just drifted away, and now it just makes so much sense. So, for us. That have experienced the people that have abandoned us, well, those are not who matters. Who matters is who's here with us holding our hand right now. That's who matters.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. If you have questions, you can get in the queue, but give me a minute. I'm going to talk about these laws that impact us, and then we're going to take all the questions and answers. But you can get in the queue now, and we'll start opening up for questions in a second. We looked over the nation, and there were 6 states that have laws that impact the targeted individual. There may be others. If you know of any, please let me know, because we're just doing a little survey. And the states are the M's, I call them M&M's, Massachusetts, Maine, and Michigan. And then Texas and Tennessee just came in this year. Let me see. I think Texas came in the end of last year, and Tennessee came in this year, and Colorado just passed a bill. So I just wanted to mention them because we want to look at what's going on around the state. So give me 1 second. I'm going to pull them up. I'm going to do one. Let me do this bill, and then we have one little short clip that we're going to listen to. So give me 1 minute. All right. Let's see. All right. Okay. So this bill is, now I'm not sure what, this is the Massachusetts law, and it's for portable electrical weapons. No. It says an act relative to the possession of electronic weapons. So whereas the deferred operation of this act would tend to defeat its purpose, which is to authorize forthwith certain possession and use of electronic weapons, therefore it is hereby declared to be an emergency law. It's an emergency law necessary for the immediate preservation of the public convenience. And let's see, what else we say? No person shall possess a portable device or weapon from which an electrical current, pulse, wave, or beam may be directed, which current, pulse, impulse, wave, or beam is designed to incapacitate, temporarily injure, or kill, except a federal, state, or municipal law enforcement officer or member of a special reaction team in a state prison or designated special operations or tactical team in a county correctional facility acting in the discharge of his official duties, who has completed a training course approved by the Secretary of Public Safety in the use of such a device or weapon designed to incapacitate temporarily, or a supplier of such device or weapons designed to incapacitate temporarily, if possession of the device or weapon is necessary to the supply or sale of the device or weapon within the scope of such sale or supply enterprise. No person shall sell or offer for sale such device. Okay, so they specify that. I think it's something that we really need to look into, like what weapons they're referring to, and the fact that correctional facility officers can use it if they're trained properly, and so can the supplier, I believe. So a supplier of such devices can possess it. All right, so that is Massachusetts, and I wish I could see what motivated this bill, but this is what's troubling, because it says whoever violates this section shall be punished by a fine of not less than $500 nor more than $1,000, or by imprisonment in the house of correction for not less than 6 months nor more than 2v2, I don't know what that means, 2v2 years, or by both such fine and imprisonment. A law enforcement officer may arrest without a warrant of any person whom he has probable cause to believe has violated this section. All right. Okay, that is the Massachusetts law. So they're getting at portable electronic devices. And Maine is criminal use of electronic weapons, except as provided in subsection 4. A person is guilty of criminal use of an electronic weapon if the person intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly uses an electronic weapon upon any other person. As used in this section, electronic weapon means a portable device or weapon from which an electrical current, impulse, wave, or beam may be directed, which current, impulse, wave, or beam is designed to have a disabling effect upon human beings. Okay? So it's very similar what they're going for, and they mention the same thing, a law enforcement, correctional officer, and they tell you who can use it. A person using deadly force when that use is for the purpose of, okay, they go into that. Okay. So Maine has a similar law. And Michigan, let me see if I have what Michigan has. I don't know, but I'm going to, the one that passed recently, I'm sorry, oh, yeah, here's Michigan, okay. It prohibits the harmful electronic or electromagnetic devices. Okay, this is a lot of words. I'm just trying to get the gist of this bill. Content of the bill. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. It prohibits, let's see. Okay, here's the summary. Michigan Public Act 257 of 2003, derived from House Bills 4513 and 4514, was enacted to address the dangers posed by electronic or electromagnetic devices like electromagnetic pulse, EMP weapons. These devices could disrupt communication systems and other electronic setups, potentially causing considerable harm. The Act defines a harmful electronic or electromagnetic device as one designed to emit harmful electronic or electromagnetic pulses or signals. It criminalizes the manufacture, possession, or use of such devices for unlawful purposes, aligning the penalties for violations with those for harmful biological, chemical, or radioactive materials and devices. The Act also makes provisions for the legitimate use of certain electromuscular devices by specific professionals while removing some redundant provisions from the existing law. Okay, so this is against the use of electronic, electromagnetic, like electromagnetic pulse weapons that disrupt communication systems and infect the body with radiation. Okay. All right, and that's Michigan. So those were the 3 M's that I wanted to get at. And also we know that Texas did a wonderful bill about basically that you can't follow another person, and you can't, in particular we talked about when you're getting a divorce or separation, you can't punish the wife or the husband because you're getting the divorce or separation. It had a lot of really, really good things in it. I don't have that bill in front of me, so I'll use the T's next week, Tennessee and Texas. I'm just going to let us hear this clip about Colorado, since it's the most current bill in reference to neuro rights. So let's hear the clip now, please, Ms. J. I don't know if there. I want to hear the audio clip now about the Colorado, the neuro rights bill.
Oh, Len, you're muted.
Okay. Anybody want to apply for the job of helping me? No. I don't know if he hears me. All right, so I'm going to move on, but we're going to, as soon as it's available, we're going to listen to that clip. In the meanwhile, I guess we'll start taking questions. But so you hear Massachusetts, Maine, and Michigan, and you kind of see the direction they're going. Massachusetts and Maine in the same way with portable weapons, and I'm not sure what they're referring to. Michigan with weapons that impact communication, I'm writing this down, and radiation to the body. Okay? But they're calling them basically the same thing, but I'm just not sure which weapons those are. Okay? We know our weapons are much more fierce, much more powerful, and they're remote, and they're hurting us. Okay? All right. So we'll review Texas bill and Tennessee's bill next week, and hopefully before the end of the night, I'll get to hear Colorado. So, Lynn, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
She's ready.
No.
Yeah.
You tried. Okay.
Okay,
all
there
right,
we go.
So let's start with the questions.
I'm ready to play the video.
Thank you. All right, then. Sorry, I know I was away from the phone, too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was muted. Sorry. There you go.
Okay, no problem.
Neuro rights. New neuro rights law passed in Colorado. House Bill 241058, becoming the first neuro rights law in America. This is a great step forward for retaining cognitive liberty and pursuing companies that retrieve stolen neuro information and data, including biological data. Not only do consumer products and medical technologies collect data, but also can be collected remotely, which is another rising issue. Establishing laws in the U.S. and around the world to stop data theft and body harnessing technologies that collect information for neuro and biology data without consent. Colorado extended its privacy law to consumer neuroprivacy, where medical neurotechnologies are protected but not personal consumer protection. Some of the neuro law ramifications are a law concerning protecting the privacy of individual biological data, and, in connection therewith, protecting the privacy of neural data and expanding the scope of the Colorado Privacy Act. The Privacy Act also describes certain rights that consumers may exercise regarding the processing of their personal data. Biological data also includes neurological data, which is information that concerns the activity of an individual's central nervous system or peripheral nervous systems, including the brain and spinal cord, and that can be processed by or with the assistance of a device. The ongoing advances in technology have produced exponential growth in the volume and variety of personal data being generated, collected, stored, and analyzed, and these advances present both great promise and potential risk. Technology that collects data about the user's bodily and mental functions are transforming the volume and sensitivity of personal data collected from individuals and stored by companies. Neurotechnologies, including devices capable of recording, interpreting, or altering the response of an individual's central or peripheral nervous system to its internal or external environment, raise particularly pressing privacy concerns given their ability to monitor, decode, and manipulate brain activity. Neurotechnologies that are deployed in medical settings or otherwise utilize the surgical implantation of invasive devices are typically regulated as medical tools that produce health information. Both invasive and non-invasive wearable neurotechnologies used in medical settings are also regulated by health data privacy laws. However, when non-invasive neurotechnologies are used outside of medical settings, they are generally considered consumer products and operate without regulation or data protection standards. The Colorado General Assembly determines that it is necessary and appropriate to expand the definition in the Colorado Privacy Act of sensitive data to include biological data, which is data that provides a characterization of the biological, genetic, biochemical, physiological, or neural properties, composition, or activities of an individual's body or bodily functions, and neural data, which is data that concerns the activity of an individual's central or peripheral nervous system, including the brain and spinal cord, and that can be processed by or with the assistance of a device. Neurotechnologies are no longer confined to the realms of research and rehabilitation. Devices that were once used only in labs and hospitals are increasingly available to consumers around the world, including Colorado. This development brings both exciting promises of innovation and economic growth, as well as new risks regarding the collection, storage, and disclosure of highly sensitive data. Advocacy for neuro rights would like to extend gratitude to the ones who helped pass the neuro rights law in Colorado, granting access to cognitive freedoms and protections from neurotechnologies. The importance of the laws are very needed to regulate neurotechnologies, neural frequencies, and consumer products that collect data. protecting an individual from neuromanipulations and neuroafflictions from neurodevices that can read, decode, and in-place data to the brain, causing distress and mental agony. These occurrences need to be recognized in all areas of collecting neurodata, inputting data, and harming sensitive parts of the brain. Stand for neuro rights in your country. Thank you for watching. Please share. Advocacy for Neuro Rights. advocacyforneurorights.org.
All right. Thank you so much, Jolene. Thank you. Okay, so that gives us a summary of Colorado's bill, and what my takeaway is that because it's not what they do with us, with the brain, what they're doing is not in a medical facility, it's considered a consumer product, and those are unregulated. So they went the extra step in order to protect our data. So that was a good move. So for any Coloradoans, you're protected. And so one of the things I've been speaking to Deborah about, and I'm so grateful for her activism and what she's doing, is to take all of these bills. This is seven different bills, or some are similar, but take the bills and take them to your legislators and see if you can get them passed in your state. And before that, though, look at them carefully if they need modification, if they need any kind of changes, to have a discussion with the legislators about making the changes. And if we have any other bills that we would like to pass, then to do so. I know Jean Shaheen is really good with she's trying to get something passed for Havana Syndrome for all civilians or citizens. All right, that's all I got. And I know people are in the queue. So, guys, we're coming to you next. And next week we'll do Tennessee and Texas. And then we'll look at all of them in helping for those who want to go and start having meetings with the legislators. All right? But don't forget, let's try to send some love to Ron Johnson, Marco Rubio, Jean Shaheen. And there were also some that submitted who asked the FBI about the TSCB. I'll try to get their names. I had it before. We need to also send them a letter and ask them what happened on the January 9th closed meeting. That's what we need. So we're going to work on that. All right. So here we go, guys. First question, please.
Hi, GoGi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Sound like G.
Yeah, it's me. Hey, listen, I got a question about the letter that you're telling us to send. Now, most of the time, you all will do a draft letter for us to follow. Can that be done? Can you do a draft letter for us to? Okay,
we talked about a few letters. Sure. Which one?
I'm talking about that one to you just said his name.
Ron Johnson, Marco Rubio, and
Marco Rubio, the one that you said was being targeted.
Oh, Ron Johnson. Okay.
Yeah, you said to send him a letter. You wanted all of us to try to send him a letter. But is there a draft already done, or can we get a draft of the letter to send to him? Because I don't want to be rejected because of certain things I might put in it. That's why I need some sort of guideline to follow.
No problem. I'll do it.
All right. Now, I really would appreciate it. So I'll just look forward to it, and thank you so much.
All right. You're welcome. Thanks for joining the J.A.M. It'll be in the TI Events Toolkit. Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, G. All right. Next caller, please.
Hey, GoGi, good evening, and good evening to all the TIs, Anna included. I just had 3 quick things. First, I want to say thank you to Anna that she's continued to be determined in her fight regardless of all of the outcomes that she's received. So just a big thank you for that. Secondly, I wanted to let TIs know, and I've said this before, you can actually go online and register on the U.S. Postal Service website to get your mail confirmation, meaning that you'll actually get a picture of the mail. They'll take a photocopy of all the mail you're supposed to be getting the next day. Sometimes it comes a day or so later, but that will serve as your proof and evidence if you don't get the mail. And then thirdly, I wanted to ask if there's anyone from Colorado on the line. If so, have you noticed a change in these criminals targeting? Has the laws and the new bill made a difference? And I'll mute. Thank you, Gaji.
Thank you so much, Lynn. And I love that picture thing. So I encourage everybody to do that, to get on the USPS website and register to get pictures of your mail. Oh, my God, it's done. Then you don't have to, you can still journal, but you have your documentation. That is a beautiful thing. I love it. I wonder if they'll send a picture. And plus, by asking that, because some of my statements are open, maybe now they won't open them because they have to send a picture. And they won't want to send a picture of my open mail. I love that. Thank you. All right. All right. Wisdom on this line. Thank you for working together, everybody. Great job. All right. Go ahead. Next caller. Next question, please. Hello? We can hear you a little bit. All right. Here's something. I don't know. Is somebody saying hi? Okay.
Hi, Gaji. It's Amy Kate. How are you?
Hi, Amy Kate. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there.
All right.
Absolutely excellent conference call. I learned so much tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Say thank you, and thank you to Ana in regards to all of the legislator and the motions that she's been filed. That's just an outstanding job, as well as the bills that you've discussed. I am wondering if you would be willing to go ahead and post the information in regards to the 3 M's, especially Michigan, so that I could get a copy of that legislature for my state. I have indeed drafted up just a small letter and was going to actually write all of the senators just because of my own personal situation. So I really would love to get copies of that or figure out ways that I could get that information, especially when it comes to the state of Michigan.
Okay. So I will put up the hmmm this week. Yes, I have them, so I can put those up.
Wonderful.
All right, it'll be posted in the toolkit on TI events. Okay.
Wonderful.
Or in the JAM post JAM note. Okay.
Post JAM note. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. All right, Amy Kate, licensed. What's your title? What is your title, Amy Kate?
So I am a licensed psychiatric clinical social worker in the state of Michigan, in the state of Nevada for 23 years. And I wanted to just also let you guys know that our targeted individuals, I do psychiatric evaluations. I do a full medical history, a full psychiatric history, and then I come up with a diagnosis for anyone that has any legal issues. I've also completed 2 of them so far for targeted individuals, send that information to their attorneys as well as to the judges that are on the case in order to help them plead their case if they get involved in any kind of legal activity.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Amy Kate. We have to be talking soon. All right, I'll be in touch. All right. Thank you. And I'll put up the hmmm. All right. Let me just make a note. Next caller, please. Okay, all right. I already hear noise, so be careful. This doesn't usually go well. Oh, it's you. If it was anybody but you, Twinnie.
I am sorry, Gaji. I'm doing something, taking care of business on my situation. So that's why I'm on travel. But I just want to say real briefly, thank you for your call. Thank you for all the information that you and Attorney Ana and targeted justice is always given. It's always so appreciated. But I guess my question tonight is to Attorney Ana is that if I'm not mistaken, she did say about once you have basically your ducks in a row, then to file with the Attorney General, if I heard right. Is that correct, Gaji?
Ana, are you there?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
God bless you, Attorney Ana. Dios te bendiga. I wanted to say, thank you. You said, if I'm not mistaken, you said that basically when you have all your evidence and everything together to file with the Attorney General, right? Did I hear that right?
No, with the Postmaster General. We're talking about...
because for the last 5 years, I have more than evidence on my situation, and I know that it would be held up in court. It's undeniable. But I did file with our Attorney General here in New York State, Letitia James, and unfortunately, which is not surprising, I didn't hear it, got no response from her. And, you know, some of these government officials, and I have valid proof of this, that by contacting them, I have sent registered emails, fax, where I've gotten a proof that I've notified, and these people don't reply back, which is a shame because we don't work for them, they work for us. And if they don't want to be a help to our situation, then they need to step down. So I would say that, but they need to step down. But I have gotten no reply, Attorney Ana, from Letitia James. So my ducks have been in a row. What would be the next step for me then?
No, but did you make a formal complaint with the Postmaster General?
Okay, well let me just say that Samia's complaint is about her medical health. Is not about the post office. It's about
Sister Samia, I can't. Let's talk privately about it because you know I'm not admitted in New York and only in federal court. So I can't. It would be irresponsible for me to give you advice without knowing the details. Okay, so let's talk about it privately, and I can't promise I will know all the answers, but at least I can try to guide you through it. I was talking about the Postmaster.
I see. All right, Attorney Ana, then I will be in touch with you. Amen.
Yes,
and
please.
Thank you, Gaji, once again. And I know you always mention my calls, but this week a time of intercession with the TIs will be canceled. Tranquility put it out, but I just want to say it again to everyone that does come on my call so faithfully. This week it is canceled. Amen. So God bless you, Swanee.
God bless you, and safe travels.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, guys. Moving right along. Next caller, next question, please.
Hi, this is Lauren. Attorney Ana, thank you for being on the call tonight. So as far as filing with the postmaster, I did have an issue, which was a major issue with receiving my mail about 10 years ago. And I kept filing complaints with the local post office, and they kept putting me off where I had to finally do a big complaint with the postmaster. And one evening around 7 p.m., I received about a shoebox full of mail. And I'm saying this was about 10 years ago. So is there a statute of limitations, which 3 years is usually what our statute is here, and I guess probably everywhere. But is there a statute of limitations to file with that postmaster at this at this point in time, since it's been so long ago?
Yes, there is, but I have to verify it. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's 2 years, but certainly 10 years is definitely out of the question. But I have to check I think it's 2 years. I'm not sure of that.
2 years.
Did you make a complaint? Did you make a complaint?
I filed it. Yeah, I filed a complaint with the postmaster. I mean, you know, not the local postmaster. I had to go all the way up to the top to get anything done because they kept putting me off, and they kept keeping my mail, which was causing my credit cards to be late. My bills were late, and I just had a stack of mail that was like a shoebox size of mail that came one evening, like I said. So, and then I started having problems with my mail coming opened, you know, those type things. So, just wondered at this point.
That happens to the Targeted Justice mail. They always open it, and they're always snooping for our mail, and that's why I know that it's a problem that everybody has. So just document it, journal it, do your complaints with the Postmaster General, save the reply, and go for it. But you have to check it in your circuit. I'm not sure. I think you're in the 4th. I think the 4th doesn't recognize it yet. I'm not sure. It's the 1st doesn't recognize it, and the 11th, I have to see because it's in the decision. But you first need to do the due diligence of journaling and making an inventory of what you don't get every month.
Okay, and the other question I have filed a trying to get my records released, my medical records 4 different times, and I actually have copies where I did ask for those to be released to me. And I was told that one hospital that I was in, that my records were moved from off of the campus into a locked facility. And come to find out with the 3 requests, they were able to locate 3, which it was now the last time I spoke with that person on the off-campus site said that they could find 3 where I had did the release, but it was actually 4 release. And she read to me that the doctor said that I'm not able to get copies of my medical records. And I know that I have privy to my records just like everybody else. I'm going to do an official letter, and if nothing happens at that point, what do I need to do?
Just show up to the hospital and ask for a certified record of it and pay for it because they're going to pay you. It's like probably like $1.50 per page. You just go there, you fill out the form, you say, I want a certified copy of my record, and you pay for it, and then they call you and they say it's ready.
No, that's the opposite of what I'm saying.
Okay, well, that's how I know it's done.
Well, I mean, that's what I did. I'm just saying that didn't happen. I didn't get my records. They moved them into a locked facility off of the campus, which means the original hospital.
So you reached out to the facility, and they still didn't give it to you?
Right, correct.
Either? Mm-hmm.
Even on the locked facility, they still did not release my records, even after I did my release of information.
That's interesting. I don't know who oversees hospitals and medical records, but I would think you would need to file a complaint. And maybe by filing the complaint. Huh?
Yeah,
You've done that
but
too?
I'm saying who does that need to go to? The hospital?
I would think there's a governance over the hospitals and medical facilities. So I would go to the administration office in the hospital or of that medical facility, the one that has that where they say they moved it to, which I had that happen. So you would go there and ask them, who's your supervisor, like who's the top. They usually have a business card and start writing that person because you're entitled to your records.
Right, correct.
You know, you're entitled to your records. So, yeah.
They denied it 4 times, so okay.
And keep record of those, of all your denials.
Right, I have those. Yep.
Yeah. And you get your day in court. Yeah. But okay, thank you for joining the J.A.M. Thank you for being here, Lauren.
Okay.
All right. All right. Next caller, please.
Gaji.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Remember when I asked you my first question?
Yes.
I was trying to mute myself afterwards, and I pushed the question, so I don't have another question. I was just trying to I was trying to mute, and I ended up going back in the question again.
All right. Good to hear your voice. Thank you, G.
Sorry about that.
No problem. All right, guys. All right.
Hello, Gaji.
Hi. How are you?
How are you doing? Nice to speak with you again. This is Wilfredo in New York City.
Hi,
Wilfredo. So Ana Toledo, nice to speak with you.
Yeah. And Wilfredo.
And I am so glad to see all the work being done by Targeted Justice. And believe me, this is not easy. And we probably will be doing this for a long time because the enemy is very powerful. But then our persistence is even bigger than that. So we will prevail. And that's all I have to say. And also, I have a pending lawsuit in federal court, which started in 2019, and this is against the CIA. And I got CIA agents in my house, in my security system, and that's how it all started. And my suggestion to all the people listening is to go to federal court. If you need any records and you cannot get them, you file a lawsuit in federal court, and it's very easy to do that. And by the way, you can do it pro se as a poor person, and you don't have to pay a penny. And when the enemy sees you, being very active and determined in getting what you want, or seeking what you want, they usually give it to you. In my own personal case, my landlord, as part of my case, has been holding my mail on occasion. So guess what? I sue my landlord. And so far I have sued my landlord 5 times in federal court. And they throw away the cases. So what? I sue my landlord, and my landlord doesn't mess with my mail anymore. And that's the name of the game. I mean, they call me fresh. Maybe I am. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, And now, just to make a long story short, the enemy is not too intelligent, and they make major mistakes. And one of the things they did in my case, number one, the CIA agent that broke into my house comes dressed as a policeman of the New York City Police Department, and I get the roster of the police department, and he's not there. So he's not a policeman. Why is he dressing using the uniform of the NYPD? And another major thing that happened in my case, this is a biggie, the lawyers representing that man made a huge mistake in falsifying a court order. And they signed the order with the name of the judge. And guess what? The court was bending backwards to sweep this under the rug. And I went to the U.S. Department of Justice, the guy there, the Attorney General, and said, look, this is happening here, and this is a terrorist that I got in my house, and he's one of your employees. And I sent copies to Jim Jordan, the congressman, and sent copies to Dick Durbin, who is a senator. They are both heads of the judiciary committees of both the House and the Senate. The point is that less than a month after I sent that letter to the Attorney General, let me see, what is the title of this woman? The Corporation Counsel of the New York City. She's a woman that supervises all the lawyers of the city of New York, and that's 850 lawyers. She was fired. And this happened 2 days ago. She was fired by the mayor suddenly. And guess what? Because of my case. And I'm not a lawyer. I'm a truck driver. Okay? But you got to go there and fight. And also, one of the things I did, among many things, is that I stand at front of the court with a banner and accuse them of terrorism. And they hate it. But there is not much that they can do. So anyway, I am so glad, and I have learned so much from these lawsuits from Attorney Ana Toledo and Target Justice and you, GoGi's, and this program. And I am grateful. I am grateful to you and to everybody at Targeted Justice. And I am so proud, of the whole group. And this is not easy. Not easy at all. But here we are.
Here we are. It's right. We're still standing, as they say, Wilfredo. And always so glad to hear you. Last week, Ted Teodoro was on, and this week you're on. So I hope that you all get together soon. I would love to meet you both together, but I know that what you're doing is very important. You stand out there every day in front of that court with your banner, and you're pushing with your case. I want to remind you, Attorney Ana Toledo reminded me that the Fikri case took 10 years, and they were just, they were so proud when they had that win recently, and the court ruled in their favor that their case is not moot, but it should move on, and so they're moving forward with their case. It was a big win to the point where we say it took off one leg of the elephant, and so will yours be a great big win. So you stay at it, keep going. You're prevailing, and
thank you.
So
thank you. I am inspired by people like you and Ana Toledo and all the others at Targeted Justice, and I learned so much. And listening to these programs, conversations from other TIs and so on, that's my school. And
thank you.
Again, something else that happened in my case very briefly is that the judge made the mistake of trying to sweep under the carpet the issue of the falsification of the court order. So now I am accusing the judge of committing a crime. And guess what? I send letters to the President of the United States, and I stand with my banner in front of the court. And the judge himself, believe me, he's shaking in his boots. The judge of the case, he's not a nice guy, by the way. So I don't care much. I'm not here to be nice to any of these people. These people are terrorists, like the CIA agents that broke into my house. So I don't have to be nice to them. I'm nice to people like Ana Toledo and the people at you, GoGi's, and the people at Targeted Justice, because you represent the decent population of the United States. But these people are terrorists. They are terrorists. And that's the way I put it in my pleadings. And there is nothing they can do because I am not threatening anyone. I'm just telling the truth. So basically, that's my 3 cents for tonight. And I am so glad to speak with you again and to hear Ana Toledo explaining the lawsuit, which, by the way, is amazing. So, let's see what tomorrow brings.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. Anna, are you there? Oh, no, she's there. Okay. Thank you so much, Wilfredo, for being there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'll let her know what you said, okay?
Thank you.
I think she stepped away from the phone. Okay. All right. Next caller, please.
Hi, this is Jane, and I was wondering if we could have Amy Kate's information.
Hi, Jane. I don't have it right now, but I tell you, if you send me an email, the Justice Action Meeting at proton.me.
Okay, let me write. I'm sorry, hold on.
No problem.
The
Justice Action Meeting at proton.me.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Okay. All right, guys. We finished the line, and we did so in record time. I'm so glad that you all were here tonight, and I'm happy that we were able to answer all the questions. I want to make a few announcements, and then I'll open up for you to say your goodbyes, to say whatever you would like to say, whatever's on your mind, and you know how we do. So I want to mention that next month is May, and during May is Mother's Day, and so we're going to have the voices, the J.A.M voices are preparing songs to mothers, and endorsed or dedicated to our moms. So whether they're here or not, and we're just going to do some things with mothers. So if you're a moderator and you'd like us on your show, we're available. If you have a special song request, I'd love to hear that. You can write to the J.A.M, the Justice Action Meeting at proton.me. Please listen to these recordings on YouTube, GoGi's After Dinner J.A.M. We have a YouTube channel. Not many people know about it. Some do. So please just, like it, share it, subscribe. Real Targeted Justice is on Rumble. And we're supposed to I'm going to start putting the J.A.M on there as well. And, keep going to TI events for all the conference calls and Targeted Justice for the newsletter. I hear there's some really good newsletters lately, this week in particular, a lot of them. So, make sure you check those out. And I don't think I have any more things to mention right now. I can't think of anything else. If you're on TikTok, look for GoGi Justice, and I'll look to see you there. And thank you to everyone who helped me all the time, G.I. Jane, Jolynn, Lady O, and, of course, Miss Tranquility. All right? Tranquility Adelet. All right, guys. So we're so glad that you could make it in. Let's open up and say goodnight. We made it through. Thank you for being here, guys.
Bye.
Good night.
God bless everybody.
Thank you.
God bless you all.
God bless you. Love everybody. We're making it through. One step at a time. So long. Yes.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Good job, everybody. Thank you so much for being here.
Good night.
Night. Night all.
Good night.
Good night all. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining the J.A.M.
Stay positive.
Good night.
Good night, guys.